Ethan sat alone on a weathered park bench, his lunch, a simple turkey sandwich and an apple, balanced on his lap. Life hadn't been kind lately. Once a construction foreman, now jobless and struggling to pay rent, he found small comfort in feeding pigeons that gathered at his feet. As he unwrapped his sandwich, a small voice interrupted his thoughts. "Sir, can I have a bite?" Ethan looked up to see a little boy, maybe 7, with wide brown eyes and a jacket too thin for the cold wind. The child's stomach growled before he could even speak again. Ethan hesitated for a moment. It was the only meal he had for the day. Then he smiled softly and tore the sandwich in half. "Here you go, buddy. It's not much, but it's fresh." The boy's face lit up, his small hands trembling as he accepted it. They sat together in silence, sharing the simple meal like old friends. A few minutes later, a voice called from behind, calm but firm. "Ethan?" He turned to see a woman in a tailored coat, holding her breath as she recognized him. It was Claire Donovan, the CEO of the company that had laid him off 3 months ago. Her eyes darted from Ethan to the boy beside him, her son. And in that frozen moment, kindness and fate collided in the most unexpected way. Claire froze for a moment, her breath catching as she saw her little boy sitting beside Ethan, the man she had once seen leading an entire construction team with confidence and heart. The same man her company had to let go during budget cuts. "Liam," she said softly, walking closer. "What are you doing, sweetheart?" The boy looked up, crumbs on his lips. "Mom," he shared his sandwich with me. "I was hungry." Ethan quickly stood, brushing crumbs off his jacket. I didn't know he was yours." "I'm sorry. I just saw he was hungry." Claire shook her head, her expression a mix of gratitude and guilt. "Don't apologize, Ethan. You did something kind. Most people would have just walked away." She could see the exhaustion in his eyes, the kind that came from more than sleepless nights. "Are you still looking for work?" she asked. Ethan hesitated, pride fighting his need. "Yes, ma'am. I've been trying. Not much luck lately." Liam tugged his mom's coat. "Mom, can he come build stuff for us? He's really nice." Claire smiled faintly, touched by her son's innocent request. "Maybe he can, sweetheart." Then she turned back to Ethan. "Meet me at the Donovan construction office tomorrow morning. I think I might have something for you." Ethan blinked, unsure if he heard right. The cold wind brushed past as hope flickered inside him for the first time in months. As Claire walked away with her son, Ethan sat back down on the bench, half smiling in disbelief. That single act of sharing, one simple sandwich, might just change everything. The next morning, Ethan stood outside the glass doors of Donovan Construction, his worn jacket neatly brushed, his resume folded tightly in his hand. It had been months since he'd last stepped into an office, and never one this polished. The marble floors, the clean scent of coffee and ambition, it all made him feel out of place. The receptionist looked up and smiled. "You must be Mr. Carter. Ms. Donovan is expecting you." He nodded, adjusting his grip on the folder as he was led to Claire's office. She stood by the window overlooking the city, sharp in her navy suit, yet her eyes softened when she saw him. "Ethan," she greeted. "It's good to see you again. Please, sit." He did, trying to hide the nervous shake in his hands. "I remember the day we had to let you go," she began quietly. "It wasn't about performance, you were one of our best. It was the budget, but yesterday, watching you with Liam reminded me why I started this company in the first place, to build, not just structures, but people." She slid a folder across the desk. Inside were blueprints and a job offer. "There's a community project starting next week. We're rebuilding a shelter downtown. I'd like you to lead the team." Ethan's breath caught. "Lead? Are you sure?" Claire smiled. "Completely. I don't hire skill alone, I hire heart. And you've already proven you have plenty of that. For the first time in months, Ethan felt something he thought he'd lost, dignity. As he left her office, the sunlight spilling through the glass seemed a little warmer. Maybe, he thought, kindness really did come full circle. A week later, Ethan stood at the edge of an empty lot where the new Hope Haven shelter would soon rise. The morning sun reflected off the steel beams stacked nearby, and for the first time in a long while, he felt a sense of purpose. "Morning, boss," one of the workers greeted, handing him a hard hat. The word boss still felt strange, but it filled him with pride. Claire visited often, sometimes bringing Liam along. The little boy would run around with a toy truck, waving to the workers like they were superheroes. And in many ways, they were rebuilding not just walls, but lives. One afternoon, as they poured the first foundation, a sudden rainstorm hit. The workers scrambled to cover the supplies, but the ground turned slippery fast. A young apprentice nearly slipped into a deep trench, and without hesitation, Ethan lunged forward, grabbing his arm just in time. They both fell hard, covered in mud, but safe. Claire rushed over, her heels sinking into the wet ground. "Ethan. Are you all right?" He laughed breathlessly, wiping dirt from his face. "Nothing broken, just a bit of rain and pride." Liam giggled nearby. "You look like a superhero, Mr. Ethan." Claire smiled, relief washing over her. "That's because he is." As the storm passed and the sun peeked through, Ethan looked at the unfinished foundation before them, solid, steady, full of promise. He realized it wasn't just the shelter he was rebuilding, it was himself. 3 months later, the once empty lot had transformed into something beautiful. Fresh paint gleamed beneath the morning sun, windows reflected hope instead of despair, and a brand new sign read, "Hope Haven, a place to rise again." The grand opening drew a crowd, families, volunteers, city officials. Cameras flashed as Claire stepped forward to speak, Liam holding her hand. "This shelter," she began, her voice strong yet warm, "is more than bricks and concrete. It's a reminder that one act of kindness can change a life. And today, I want to honor the man who rebuilt not only this place, but his own future." She turned toward Ethan, who stood nervously near the front, wearing his cleanest shirt and a stunned expression. "Ethan Carter," she continued, "your compassion inspired this project. You gave half your meal to a child you didn't know, my child. And because of your heart, countless families will have a roof over their heads. For that, we are forever grateful." The crowd applauded. Ethan felt tears burn his eyes, but Claire wasn't finished. "I would also like to announce that Ethan is now our Director of Community Development, leading future projects like this one across the city." Ethan froze. "Director? Him?" Liam ran over and hugged him tightly. "I told Mom you were a superhero." Ethan knelt, hugging the boy back, overcome by emotion. Claire approached, extending her hand with a proud smile. "You changed my son's day, and in doing so, you changed both our lives. Let us help you change many more." Ethan shook her hand, his voice cracking. "Thank you, for believing in me." As the ribbon was cut and cheers filled the air, Ethan looked up at the shelter, the symbol of a new beginning born from a simple shared sandwich. Kindness had given him a destiny he never imagined.